Come correct or don't come at all.
This is the Hartzog Hustle Podcast.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And we're talking about the hustle, strategy, and mindset you need to win in the areas of your finance, your purpose, and your future.
Know what I'm saying?
If you have heart and you want to learn how to activate the power of your hustle, then this is the podcast for you, baby. For you, baby.
Congratulations.
And now, your hosts, Anthony and Janilka Hartzog.
This is how it should be done.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode.
Sound like you're on a radio show. Sorry.
Yeah, that's my radio voice.
Go ahead.
Another episode of the Hartzog Hustle Podcast. Appreciate you guys being here. My name is Anthony, and I'm joined here by my beautiful co-host, Mrs. Hartzog Hustle herself, Janilka.
Do you go by Mr. Hartzog also?
Yeah, it's my Twitter name.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I didn't know.
Make it up.
I didn't know you was going by that.
People gave that to me.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Hope everyone is doing well.
Yeah.
What the hell?
All right. Hope they're doing well. So before we get started, we just want to remind you guys, please rate and subscribe to this podcast. It helps us continue to grow, helps us to reach more audiences, and most importantly, helps us be able to impact more people, which is all we're really trying to do here.
Yes.
So I'm going to give you guys, excuse me. Oh, man. I'm going to give you guys
Hope
the.
it's not that vid.
That is not the vid. I'm going to give you guys the review of the week. This is from Niche A. It says, topic is the best. So easy to listen to. Everything is clear and so real. They are down to earth with real life lessons. Listening to them, I feel like we are actually friends. And I can really relate to what they're talking about.
Hi, Niche. We can be friends.
Oh, yeah, most
if you're in
definitely.
Dallas. If not,
You got friends remote?
you can. But then, how do you build that friendship?
This is why we have the podcast, to build these friendships out here.
That's true.
And that's really important to us. We want to be relatable.
Because this baby is getting.
We want to be relatable to the audience. We want to make sure that you guys can understand what we're talking about. We don't ever want to talk over someone's heads. So we wanted to share our journey and continue giving you guys, what we're going through, but also ways that you can learn and from our experiences.
Absolutely.
So we are, how do I say this? We heard about this show called Ozark
When did we actually watch it?
long time ago.
I don't know. It hasn't been on for a while either, so it's like.
So we finally got caught up on it, and you guys may be like, we're late. But there's these, we're not going to go into the whole detail of the show, but the main character, his name is Marty, and he was doing, I believe, accounting for a firm or something like that, maybe. And he was having a conversation with his associate who was in a nice suit. Marty's a regular down-to-earth guy, blue-collar worker, blue collar shirt, slacks.
So it started.
Yeah. And it's a show about drugs. We're not talking about drugs. Trust me, this episode's not about drugs either. But he was talking to his associate, and his associate was like, yeah, I just came back from this vacation. His associate got a nice suit. He's like, we should buy this huge office. I just got a new car. He's like, why aren't you living life? Mm-hmm. And Marty's a plain Jane guy. He's like, I'm living life.
I'm laughing because that's like his aura in general. Like his composure and everything in general is very just like steady.
Mellow,
very
monotone.
mellow and monotone. So that's who Marty is. So it brings us to like where the show started to where he is now, and he kind of is the same guy.
Yeah, he's the same guy.
You would say he has way more money, but because of logistics, you can't really show it like that. But he invests in other ways.
But I think that's who he is.
Yeah.
Because he had money then too. I think he was making, because he was doing. Long story short, they were smuggling. They were working for a cartel drug gang, and they weren't selling drugs, but they were finding ways for the drug gang to legalize their accounting. That's what he does. He was doing that then, making money. He was doing that then, making money. But his associate just assumes that he's just this yellow, mellow guy, not making any money, just
like
living
you need
life.
a show for it.
Yeah, he's like, you don't got a car, you don't go on vacations, but we know he's making money, but his partner may not know that he's making that money.
His partner just showed it in different ways.
Yeah, I mean, so he's an everyday probably millionaire or close, whatever it was back then. Mm-hmm. But now he's making millions upon millions of dollars, but he's that same exact person. Legally or not legally, but he's that same person he was, at the end of the season as well as the beginning of the season.
Beginning of the show.
Beginning of the show. Mm-hmm. And you just wouldn't know that that's who he is. Like, he has that type of money.
Right. So that leads us to our question or topic of today is, what does a millionaire look like, right? Hi, it's me. A millionaire looks like us, right? But that's not always the perception. Then, I just thought about this, is like the battle of ongoing social media of like how most people say, real millionaires only wear Skechers. Real millionaires are like Skechers. Mark Zuckerberg, where you can't see it. And everybody like, have you seen that man's house? Do you see his vacations? Like, you know what I mean? It's shown in different ways versus like, I guess, our community, how they view it. But we'll get to that at some point. But what does a millionaire look like? And I mean, I think what a millionaire looks like from what we assumed it looked like when we were younger to now would be different.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right? Perception of money, of what you're thinking. I think I always thought like celebrities are rich. But I never like put a money, when I was younger is what I'm saying. I never put like money to it. And
a number to it?
A number to it. I'm sorry, money. A number to it as to how rich is a certain celebrity.
Yeah.
And what does that really mean?
Rich is relative.
Rich is relative. But we're speaking about millionaires specifically. Rich is relative. Because some would say being a millionaire is not rich.
It's not. It's definitely not. And it's not enough. And I think you grow up, you like, oh, I'm becoming a millionaire, I made it, but it's really
telling
not.
People that challenge you in the comments. It's life changing.
That's fine. We could debate. You go and debate yourself. This is my thoughts on it. You could add your comments as well, but I don't feel like a million is enough. Rick Ross was saying like you got to have 10. He said if you got 10. He said just like this. If you got 10 million, you uncomfortable. He said, 10 million, you uncomfortable. You ain't sleeping that night. I said, wow, 10 million, okay. I was like.
And so do you feel like it's not enough because of where you are now, though, and it has changed for you over time?
Like Rick Ross said, it ain't enough.
Oh, God. It ain't I didn't see that interview. I don't know if his mouth was like that, but that's how he talks.
It ain't enough.
So maybe it was.
It ain't enough. You feel uncomfortable. You ain't sleeping that night. But I feel like
was he saying 10 million is still low?
Yeah, he's like, you uncomfortable, you got 10 million.
Because of the life he lives. He has probably I don't know how much money he has, but maybe he's at 200 million.
His home is acres of land. He's at $1 million, ain't even paying my light bill every month. So
wow. It's a different mindset. That's why it's a whole different ball game. But yeah.
So I feel like what your original question was, like, when is $1 million enough? And I said no, only because it depends on $1 million and what. Are you a millionaire, which means your net worth is $1 million?
Oh, so let's explain what a millionaire is. That's a good thing. Like, what is a millionaire? Because some people assume if you say that I'm a millionaire, then you have $1 million in your bank account.
Or you're making $1 million.
Or you're making $1 million from a job or something, whatever the case may be. Some people assume that that's the case. But if you do have that, then yes, you are a millionaire too. But what other ways, how else would you really describe it?
So a millionaire is your net worth. So like your net worth of assets is worth $1 million. So what you own, your house, your investments, your 401k, your retirement plans, your broker, your stocks,
pocketbooks,
your life insurance if you got any cash value in there, your diamonds, whatever that. And what you owe, your liabilities, your car,
same thing, your house.
Yeah, your liabilities equals $1 million. So what you own minus what you owe. So if I have a house that's $1 million worth, like that's my house. That's the only thing I got is my house, and I have I owe 500,000. I'm not a millionaire.
You only have half.
I only got $500. That's my net worth. But if I have a house that's $1 million and that's all I have and no debt, then I'm a millionaire.
Yes.
So it's what you own minus what you owe is your net worth essentially. So you're a millionaire at that point.
Based on
if I make $1 million, that's not $1 million. I'm not a millionaire. If I have $1 million in stocks, yes. But if my liabilities are more than that, then it's not $1 million.
So if you have $1 million in stocks and your house is $2 million,
yeah, you're not a millionaire.
You're probably not a millionaire because you have debt to that and your car and all the things like that. Okay.
So what you own minus what you owe has to equal $1 million.
Yes. So that's what we wanted to clarify that because I don't think everybody just assumes that it's just like, oh.
Because also even if you make $1 million in a year, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. So if I make $1 million in a year, what am I doing? What am I doing? So it's like, all right, I'm investing. Not even investing, I got to pay taxes. And more than likely, if you make $1 million in a year, you probably have businesses. Probably not making that from your job.
Probably not.
So you probably have businesses. So you're paying taxes, you're paying employees, you're paying staff, or you're paying whoever it may be. So you're not getting the same thing, but you're not keeping that in your bank account. So it may hit your bank account, but it doesn't mean you're keeping it in your bank account. Because we made over $1 million last year, and that doesn't necessarily make us millionaires, but our net worth makes us millionaires.
Right. Because we definitely didn't keep that. That would be
No. So that's why I say it's not enough, because again, at the end of the day, it's just, I mean, even if you have a net worth of $1 million, you're a millionaire. It doesn't mean that you're able to sustain your lifestyle.
Right.
That does that mean you have?
Because what's your lifestyle?
Exactly.
That's the thing.
So now it's like, do you got money coming in every single month that could pay for that house or pay for that car, whatever it may be, or do you just have $1 million in investments or savings or even your house? I got $1 million house and that's not making me any money. I'm gonna be broke.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. That's
essentially.
fair. So when you think about, like, you say that it's not enough, I won't disagree, but I only can say that based off of where we are now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Because when you see certain money and you realize, you know how people say the more money you get, like the more problems, the more...
I think it was Diddy, the famous Sean
Was it Diddy
P.
or
Diddy
Biggie?
Combs. I mean, Diddy.
He's on the hook.
Diddy
He
produced
wrote
it.
it. Okay, we'll give it to
Diddy
Biggie. We'll give it to
more
Diddy.
Money, more problems. Biggie,
More money,
Diddy
more
was on the
problems.
remix. You had the locks as well. I believe.
Okay. More money, more problems.
Yeah,
and then
skills.
the more
Cristal
money.
spills.
You still going?
High bills in Brazil. By the ice grill.
Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. I mean, you gonna say something?
Go ahead.
The more money, the more problems, but also the more you spend, right? So lifestyle changes, right? So I agree. If I never thought, listen, let me rephrase. So at my job, in my career, as I said, I'm a mental health therapist. Now, certain fields you do not get into thinking you're making a bunch of money. Let's be clear. Teachers, therapists, I'm sure there's tons of other ones that you don't think about. At least I wasn't thinking about that going to college and stuff. Like, all right, I'm going to be set with this money. And what is set? I don't even know. I never thought I would even make over 6 figures in this career. To be honest, it is what it is. And so when you think about that, did I ever think about being a millionaire? Hell no, because being a millionaire just seemed like people on Wall Street or rappers and celebrities. That's it. Like, you don't know, or I think I didn't know anyone that is like a family member, a friend, or whatever that's a millionaire.
Well, you may have, number one, I was singing all about the Benjamins. My bad. Now I was thinking about it.
What the? See, you was wrong and strong at that.
I think I was. Diddy had a lot of songs about money, but you probably have. This is why we're talking about, like,
Stuff I don't know about.
exactly. So now you're thinking about going back to Marty, the guy from Ozark, the main character.
It's the guy next door.
Yeah, it's the guy next door. But the question is, do you still want to be that person when you kind of get to these financial goals? It's like, all right, it's great that you remained humble or whatever. People want you to remain humble because they don't want you to be
why
flashy.
though. But why not? That's my business.
Because now they
if I'm
want
flashy.
you to they want you to dim your light so that you don't
overshadow them.
overshadow them. So
Shade.
like, I feel like you don't have to be Marty next door in order to say to be a millionaire, but it's totally fine if you want to be. Like, if you want to live lower than your means, beneath your means, that's totally fine. But it's not mandatory. You get to these stages in life and you want to explore more, you want to do more, you want more luxury things. You sacrifice all the years to get to where you are. You don't have to live that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I think one of the challenges is that people still want you to be that same person you were.
Is it people or black people?
I don't know. People want you to be that same person that you were when they first met you, so that now you may be this new person. You may not be new. You may be the same person, but now you want different experiences. You want different lifestyle. You want to go and do different things because you sacrificed and you got to that point. You want to be able to enjoy, your fruits of your labor all these years.
It's like, what am I making the money for if I'm not going to be able to enjoy it? And so now there's this thing on, I think is it TikTok? Yeah, it's TikTok, where it's like, people are loving, like, black girls just showing, like, black luxury.
Yeah.
Or just how they're living. If you guys know Jackie Aina, I know my girls know Jackie Aina.
No idea. Can you explain her?
She's been in the YouTube game for years, like 10, 15 years. Went to the military, been in a YouTube game. A darker skinned black woman, and she has really put on, for darker skinned black women, makeup. Has been her thing. But she's done really well for herself. And so now she started a separate page about, like, lavishly Jackie. And it just shows, like, all the luxury that she does in her life.
Dope.
And her home, and everything is luxury. And it's just like, she presses her comforters and just everything it's just ideal, right? But you don't see that with black people. Or
So you mean her cover's not wrinkled?
No, she got a steamer. It's just really nice. It's just exciting to watch, right? It's just all the things
I can tell you look really excited about it.
Yeah, it's good. She does a lot of reels. She does a lot of reels.
We're gonna get you a steamer. How about that? You gonna steam your?
It's a quick little like.
We'll see if you
clip.
do it though.
But just even on TikTok, a lot of women have been doing that. It's a space in TikTok called like Black Luxury TikTok or something like that. But it just shows that, because usually people say like you can't, like you said, or you shouldn't, like, or you shouldn't go out and buy this, or like you're spending too much on this and you're doing that, and it's like, well, it's my coin. Like, why is it another person's concern, right? Why is it another person's concern about that? But and so back to that millionaire thing of, we as people want, it's like, do we want millionaires to look a certain way, like a celebrity? But if it's the average person, you can't start to look like that.
They don't want you to. Who's they? That's that DJ Khaled stuff. Talking about they.
Who's DJ? What he be saying? Oh,
they don't want you to succeed.
Yeah.
They don't want you to win. They don't want you to be a millionaire, but actually spend your money. That's the day.
True. That's true. That is the day.
So
I forgot about that.
But that has to come from somewhere. It's like, if I see you spending,
Personal.
if you got the money, right, and you go and spend it however you want, that doesn't impact me.
No, it doesn't. But for social media, it does impact them somehow. Somehow it impacts them, because it becomes you could have done this, that, and the other with your money, right? And it's like, well, maybe I am, or maybe I don't want to. That even if I could have, maybe I did already. One, and two, why is it your business that I'm not?
Yeah.
Right. The example of when I said, you had posted, I think you said on Twitter, would you rather sit with Beyonce or get $500,000? And I said, I would rather sit with Beyonce.
So can we just rewind that right quick? So the question was, would you rather, that
The
thing,
Jay-Z
the
concert.
Jay-Z thing?
It's $20,000 with Jay-Z, I think.
I don't know what it was, but she raised the stakes, and it was like, would you rather $500,000 in cash or dinner with Beyonce? And I was just joking, and I asked Janoka, and she said dinner.
And I said dinner with Beyonce because
what's your reasoning?
My reason is because
we about to make you go viral. Go ahead.
I don't care. Listen, maybe B will see it. That would be good. My reason is because that we've made $500,000, and that means that I can do it again. I can't meet Beyonce again if there's an opportunity that comes up.
Yeah.
I am 33 years old. There's not many opportunities. She ain't gonna be singing and dancing for the rest of my life. If opportunity comes up that I can meet Beyonce, it's a once in a lifetime experience. That's why I picked that over the 500,000.
But this was a joke. But
right.
So I tweeted this, and I'm getting I don't want to throw nobody out there, but it's like I'm getting recommendations like, oh, you could donate that money to sit at Beyonce's charitable table, and wealthy people, they do this with their money so that they could meet people like that. And I was like, it was a joke, bro.
I ain't joking though, but
I'm like,
but yeah,
that goes back to that same conversation.
People telling you what to do with your money.
Why are we telling people how they should be using their money? Yes, it's great that you're giving a recommendation. I appreciate it. If I ever had the $500,000 give to Beyonce or give to a charitable organization where I can meet her, totally fine. But it was a joke. But you're still giving me critiques and recommendations on how she could achieve this in a way that you feel is good for me. Better for you, yeah. That's the thing. It's a way you feel is good for me. Exactly. And then we usually post things, but we haven't even posted about being a millionaire. So as millionaires, do you feel different? Do you feel like you operate differently? I feel like ain't nothing changed. I don't know. Nah, nothing changed. I think the purpose of us getting there was to, I think it's just a number at this point. I think it's a lot of people, you think about that millionaire, number, it's like, all right, I got there. What's up? No, I'm just saying, I don't even know if a lot of people think about it, because I don't think we started thinking about it till 2 years ago, maybe. Yeah, it wasn't too far off. And then I think you just have this thought, like, once I get to $1 million, oh my God, my life is going to change. And then you get there and it's like, your life was changed before you got to that number. Your life changed when you decided to achieve that number. Your life changed when you said, I'm going to get to these goals. Your life changed when you said, I'm going to now put myself in a position to be there. So all the things you're doing 2 years ago was a change. Today, that number is a result of the changes you went through for the past 2, 3, 4, 10 years, whatever the years may be. So when you finally get to that goal, it's like, all right, the goal has been hit, it's been succeeded. Now it's like, what's next? It goes back to us paying off that debt. People ask, like, how did your life change paying off that debt? No. Your life changed when we said we're gonna sit down and have this conversation about the debt.
But the reason it feels like that, I think the reason it feels like that for people that your life will change because you can't fathom it. You can't visualize it usually, right? So when we started the debt payoff journey, it was kind of like, all right, are we really gonna pay this off? Right? Like you can't visualize that, I think, until you're there. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound real, really, until you're there. So I think that's when people say like, okay, wow, you paid off all this money. Like, how did it feel? And we're like, we didn't feel. We pressed the button. Yeah, we did drink some champagne. It felt real the next month when we didn't have to budget for the debt. But in the moment, it didn't feel any different. Yeah, and so I think that's the same. And I think for myself, when you think about like being a millionaire, it doesn't make sense in that way because, like I said, I never thought about it, never thought about attaining it. Starting in my career, I never thought I would even make over 6 figures. So to even be close to to make $1 million didn't seem attainable at all. And with us hitting it, I don't think we ever even sat down and be like, wow, we may be the first millionaires in our family, or wow, not that we shared with anyone. Like, hey, this is what's happening. Because then you also don't want to feel like you're bragging to people, right? I mean,
you're doing a whole podcast about it, so
yeah. So
somebody gonna listen.
Somebody gonna listen at that point. But I'm just saying, in the moment of it, in the moment of it, like you're not just like, oh, hit the number. You're like telling everybody.
But another thing is, since it's such just I don't want to say arbitrary number, but it's a number that fluctuates all the time. So the stock market, you hit $1 million, stock market goes down, not a millionaire anymore. Right. So that's kind of like, it's not really a big deal because that's kind of what happens. Like, all right, well, the stock market's been trashed the last...
Eating up money.
Yeah, the stock market's been trashed like the last probably 6 to 8 weeks. So that number has changed dramatically. But you got there, you can get there again. So that's why I don't feel like it's such of a big deal anymore. It's like, all right, we did it. Now it's like, what's next? Now it's like, all right, I don't mind taking that money and reinvesting into something else, or going in and trying to continue to grow in other ways that we may not see a return immediately. Like we said, we just got another rental property. We're not going to see that return on that money for a couple months. Yeah. So that number, you got $1 million and you spend $70,000 on a rental property or whatever the total number is going to be. Now that number is in that property. So you don't have it no more, and you may not have it immediately in net worth, but down the line that rental property is going to bring you that long-term income. And I think that's where my mindset is now, less about that net worth number since we've done it. Now it's like, all right, how can we create more long-term recurring income or sustainable income that we don't have to work for anymore?
And now do you look at people differently? Like, I don't know if you said like how you envisioned millionaires to look like when you were younger. What did you think? You didn't?
I don't think I look at anybody differently at this point. I think now it's just like, I don't even worry about it as much as I used to.
Well, I'm saying when I say look at people differently, I mean, do you envision what a millionaire looks like to be something completely different from what you did when you were younger?
Oh, yeah. I think, I mean, we spoke about this, like the whole, the nice car, the fancy house.
You thought they was millionaires?
Yeah, I think you don't get a nice car and a nice house unless you're a millionaire.
That's what I just thought they were rich. But rich is relative, like you said. I wasn't thinking they were millionaires, though, because to me, that number was like billion. Like how you would say somebody's a billionaire now when I was younger. A millionaire was like a billionaire. Like, no way.
It's kind of like when you're looking at $20 when you're younger versus the $20 now.
Right, exactly. Same type of thing. So, yeah.
$20 is a lot of money back then. Now it's
that was lasting. $20 was lasting. $100 was lasting. You go out
somebody
for
give
lunch,
you $100. That's like $1,000 as a kid.
Yeah. Now?
So a millionaire was like a billionaire. A millionaire was like a billionaire back then. Yeah, I think, when I used to think about it, it was more along the lines of they got the nice car, they got the nice house, whatever it may be. And it's like, I automatically assume that. But now it's like, I don't assume anything about anyone.
You just never know.
Because I know I could go out and get a Lamborghini, finance it, and I'll be fine. Yeah. Or go out there and
that means
lease
we're
it.
Gonna get my G-Wagon too?
I could go out there and lease an expensive car and be totally fine. But it's not going to do anything for me. It's not something that I want to do right now, at least.
Right now. Okay. Got it.
So I used to think, you pull up in this car. I was like, you got the most money in the world. Now I know it's not. You could get anything you want, honestly. And you also learn other ways to do it. So it's like, all right, I want to get this. I want to get this nice car. So it's like, all right, let me get 2, 3 okay cars, put them on the platform and rent them out. And now that car is paying for that lease for that Lamborghini or Ferrari or whatever nice car is. I don't really know. Nice Audi or something.
You're not really a car guy.
Not really a car guy. So those 2 or 3 cars I put on that platform to rent out, bringing in, $3,000 a month can now pay for that expensive luxury car. That doesn't mean I'm a millionaire. That just means I'm I'm smart. That means that I'm using liabilities and trying to kind of turn them into assets at that point.
And how do you think that our community, I don't know, well, you can't teach everybody everything, obviously. But how do you think that we could, I don't know, continue to have those conversations or help our community to look at what a millionaire is differently? Do you feel like somebody has to like have a certain amount of money to have an understanding of it? Or do you think they just have to be exposed to different circles to have an understanding of it? Or
I would think it's exposure to different circles or being exposed at an earlier time.
okay,
You start exposing kids to these conversations earlier. I think now you're able to tell them, millionaire looks like me. I don't think I've ever had anybody come up to my high school and middle school saying, hey, I made $1 million in business. It's like, oh, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a teacher, which is fantastic. But
There's
one
other
ever,
ways.
Yeah, there's other ways to do it. So I think exposing kids at an earlier time, because I mean, you went to a pretty open high school, I would say.
Oh yeah.
So only millionaire that I came to my high school with was Jay-Z, I guess, at that time.
You said that very casually.
Yeah. I met Jay-Z.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to pay $500,000 for it.
The shade.
No. I didn't even go to the gym that day. Actually, that was funny. I didn't go to the gym that day, and they closed the doors. It was a secret
So
thing.
you skipped gym and missed having.
Nobody goes to gym. It was a secret.
I always went to gym. I didn't skip classes.
It was a very small window, and I didn't normally go to gym. You was a senior at that point. You didn't go to gym. Only a certain amount of people knew about it in the classroom that they was having it in the night, the day of.
Look at the
and they
look
told
at
them
the
to go to the
opportunities
gym.
you missing.
It was either you was in that classroom or you had gym during that period. I didn't go to gym, so I found out. I went down to the gym. The doors was locked. But again, it's going back to that conversation. Like, only millionaire you see is Jay-Z. It's like, oh, he's a rapper.
Yeah, that's the only way you can obtain it.
Exactly. And I
Being a
didn't have to pay
rapper.
$500,000 for that, but.
Whatever.
So,
But he wasn't who he was now.
Nah,
he was
he
big. I mean, he was huge because it's Jay-Z, but he wasn't the Jay-Z today.
But yeah,
So different
I mean,
value.
even going back to your school, like you had a pretty open school where like you're getting exposed to different things. Like, what was your exposure to like not just the arts but also the finances, where you're talking about these type of things?
I don't remember talking about these type of things. I don't remember many money conversations in my life in general. Like when I think about money conversations, I think about like getting screamed at for math from my uncle. But I don't really I don't remember like, or just like maybe some information that my mother might have said to me about credit cards. But it's not anything that stands out like, okay, this is that. Like there never was really conversations around like making more money. Or, it just was like, okay, you're going to school. I didn't really have to pay. I don't think I paid money towards my household. I don't even know. I think one time when I was in graduate school, because I had went back home and I was like, I'll give you some money because she wouldn't take it from me. But so like there wasn't any money conversations. There wasn't anything about like growing past going to college and getting the money that you would get in your career.
Yeah.
So it was, that it's just a little different. I think it's just a different ball game, or just your household, depending who's in your household. Because I think if I did live with my uncle at some point, but I was a child, like way younger. But I think that if he was like still in my life, growing to a certain point, like living with me, I would say, then those conversations would have been different. But like, no, my mother didn't talk about money with me at all. Only time, like, I think when I was helping her fill out FAFSA for undergrad, and
That's
you had
when
to
you
look
learn
like
how
her
much you
salary or something like that. But even then, my parents made too much money for me to even get FAFSA, so it was just kind of like nothing outside of what we were doing.
Yeah. And then even when I recently did a panel, not a panel, I did a conversation with some high school kids.
Right.
And my friend was just like, I thought about you because, you're in the entrepreneurship space. And we're talking about money with these high school kids, and I'm sitting there thinking like, wow, I don't remember me speaking to anybody about these conversations in high school.
That looked like you too.
Especially that looked like me, because I went to predominantly white high school, but
What? Westinghouse is a white high school? Or you went to predominantly white junior high school?
junior high school too. most of the conversations wasn't from.
I'm shocked Westinghouse was a predominantly white high school.
It could have been a mix.
I don't know.
I don't
think that.
We had metal detectors, whatever. But the conversation wasn't like a successful, black entrepreneur or even 9-to-5preneur, whatever you want to call me at this point, coming in talking about ways to make money or thinking about making money or opportunities outside of just going to college. And they said the question was, they said you could learn about college for no applications, you could learn about sports, or you could learn about entrepreneurship.
This was the options for the high schoolers for
schoolers.
topics.
Yeah.
Okay.
And majority of them picked entrepreneurship, which lets us know like these kids are going to be the route they're going today.
It's a whole different.
It's going to take them to that millionaire next door or whatever. They don't want to be next to them. They don't want to live next to nobody, whatever. But now they're having a conversation at an earlier rate so that they could learn more about, what does a millionaire look like? And we talked about that too. It's like, all right, well, here's how much money we've made. Here's how much money we have. Here's how we did it. Here's how you could do it. Here's ways that you could think about doing this yourself. So I think that's how you kind of get to that, figuring out, at what point do you really realize what people actually can have.
Social media.
So learning it earlier, having more opportunity to learn about it.
Yeah. I mean, because, and that's the only thing, like, social media has its good and bad, but the good can be just more exposure to different things earlier. Oh, yeah. Because we didn't have social media growing up. So you just know what your parents teach you or like family, and then your friends, which are usually the same type of circles.
Yep.
So if they don't know anything different, then you don't know
about
anything
money,
different.
then their parents don't. Their
Yeah.
kids don't know about money.
I mean, Google was around, but nobody was just, how do I make more money outside of going to college? Like, I don't think anybody was looking that up. If you're not having that conversation or something to tell you, like, that's a possibility, then, which is something that we always, that's like our motto, or what we always talk about or scream from the rooftop on, is like, you don't have to do exactly what we did. You don't got to pay off your debt. You don't got to start a cleaning business. You don't got to do a rental.
If
you don't gotta
did want to start a cleaning business, you could join cleaningbusinessuniversity.com to learn how to start a 6-figure cleaning business, or you could text the word clean to 214-544-9015.
Right. So you don't have to do exactly what we did, but we just want to show you that it is possible to do other things.
Yep.
Because before, and so that was just, we started our debt payoff 2017. I had never heard of anybody paying off loans before then. Now, 2017, I'm 28, I don't remember how old I was, whatever. So you would say, you've never heard of that? No, I had never heard of anybody paying off student loans or debt at that time. And so some things you just assume that people know, you just assume that people are aware of. No, there's opportunities, there's things that you can do that you never think about. And that's what we always want to tell people. Like, it don't have to be exactly like we did, but just knowing that there's a possibility to do something different can help you to start thinking differently, can help you to start saying like, okay, well, maybe I will work OT at my job. Maybe the extra 500 can go towards this, that, and the other.
Well, you never heard of it because of the lack of exposure, I guess. You wasn't exposed to anyone doing it or saying it, but if you were, and everybody around you was doing it,
then it would be a norm.
It would have been crazy for you not to do it.
Right. It would be like, why you still got that, child?
Yeah, exactly. It would have been crazy for you.
I'm way past it.
So think about it like this. If you are in high school, right, or you in any age or whatever, and all your teachers are millionaires or all of them are teaching you about wealth, or you're learning it from different places, it's going to be normal for you. So a millionaire, going back to Marty and his partner, Marty would have been like normal to me. Like, oh, I know Marty. Like, people like him all the time. Yeah, my next door neighbor. Yeah, he's doing such and such. Yeah, he's a millionaire. And that's why they got that book called Millionaire Next Door, because you never know what they may have or what they're doing it. And just because you see in their driveway they got that Ferrari or Jaguar, but
don't mean they're a millionaire. That's another part of it too.
Exactly.
It could be the opposite side of it, of like, just because I have these expensive things don't mean I'm what you think. Which is what you said. You said you assume that people that had the nice cars were millionaires. Like,
or nice watches or whatever it may be. And then we visited somebody's house in Dallas, and they were the couple we
Oh,
visited,
yeah.
and they got this nice house in this amazing area, and
Most expensive place in Dallas.
yeah, and we're like, all right, that's dope, and they start telling us about how they're
house
poor, which means that they can't afford their house is eating into literally their money,
Yeah,
their savings,
basically.
everything. So now they're like, I'm underwater, which means that I owe more than what the house is actually worth. So they're telling us this conversation is like, wow, you wouldn't even think that.
No. And even then, right? So that was just, 3-4 years ago. We were like, if you live in this neighborhood, then you must
got
be
it.
rich.
You got it
Yeah.
immediately.
Well, that's what people, that's funny because I know my mother, she visits and she has friends out here or a friend out here. And she's like, oh yeah, they live in that area. And they're like, oh, wow. Oh, your daughter lives by the rich people.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. And even that person that we had spoke to that was from Dallas that hadn't gone out to that area. And she was like, oh, you over there by those folk.
Yeah.
So we would just have like a perception, of course, of like where you live, what you drive, what you have on, that is what a millionaire may be.
Yeah.
Or that is person has to be making six figures. And you really have no idea.
And then another thing that you had mentioned when they said that they live in this area, like a lot of people in certain areas of even Dallas that I've learned. I mean, this could probably be in New York too. I don't know people's pockets, but another area of Dallas that we live in, they called it
What?
what's this area called? Something row, like
Not
six
Death
figure
Row.
row. No,
Okay.
like 10,000aires or something. They call them 10,000aire row or something like that. It's like
I didn't hear
uptown
that.
area. Some people
Okay.
that live in Dallas like, oh,
So it mean like they're making six figures?
no, they
Over
call it
100K?
like 10,000aires.
10,000.
10,000aires. Yeah, that's exactly what it's called. 10,000aires. So think about it. They live in expensive areas, but they call them 10,000aires. So you live in expensive areas that
But
you
why 10,000 a month? Like what they mean? What's 10,000?
10,000 like under six figures. So 10,000.
Oh, in the tens.
in the
Okay, like
tens, yeah.
tenths.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't understand it at first. Like 10,000
I'm
areas. And they
like-
explained it, but they were saying that these people live in these areas. Like they come live in these areas to kind of live up to that lifestyle that they're supposed to be having and living in that area. So you're not
They're
making
supposed to be having.
Yeah, so you're not making that much money. You're living in this expensive area. You could barely afford it, but you're kind of obtaining. You're trying to live up to this lifestyle, this inflated lifestyle that you really can't afford. And I was like, well, I didn't know that was a thing, but certainly
You
it
know
is.
that's the thing that people.
Oh, I didn't
can't
know that
afford
area
stuff.
was called that.
Okay,
though.
okay, that's what you mean. I'm about
Yeah,
to say
I didn't know that
because
area was called that.
You see that every day, people.
Of course. I mean, of course. You're going to try to keep up with the lifestyle. You're going to try to keep up with the hype. You're going to try to keep up with what you see around you, what your friends are doing.
Joneses, as they
The
say.
Joneses, keep up the Joneses or the Smiths or whatever it may be, or the Hartzogs. I don't know. Janelle just looked at me. But you don't. Listen. It's totally fine to do that if you're comfortable and you can maintain it. But you don't ever want to get to that point where it's kind of eating into your daily living, eating into your savings, into your investments,
'Cause you're
trying to keep up with that
something.
lifestyle.
Because the next person, the person that you trying to, or people you trying to keep up with, don't care. Mm-hmm. They don't care. I mean, it's very true. If those people are your friend, your real friends, or your family, they're not like, oh, she ain't driving that yet. I ain't gonna be with her. Or she not wearing that yet. I'm not gonna be around her. Right? That's the reality of it. So, they don't care.
Yeah, you want to be able to be comfortable around people that you care about, right? You want to make sure that you're not trying to live this lifestyle that you can't keep up with only to please people that don't really like you at the end of the day. So it's a lot, man.
So to wrap, how would you end what a millionaire looks like? I got my answer.
I know you're gonna say something smart, so go ahead.
What am I say smart?
Something smart.
Wow, you usually the smart one.
Go
So
ahead.
now I'm gonna say something smart.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I ask you first.
A millionaire looks like whatever you want it to be. So,
Nah, that's too vague. Come on, brother.
what you got?
A millionaire look.
Go ahead.
the pressure. A millionaire looks like me, you, and Baby Hartzog.
Me, you, and Baby Hartzog. Shout out to Baby Hartzog.
Yes.
And
That's what my millionaires look like.
I don't think the purpose of this conversation is to try to identify what a millionaire looks like or doesn't look like. I think
Your perception.
especially your perception of it. The purpose of it is to know that you can have and do both at the end of the day. You could be the millionaire where you dressing like, oh, I don't got the Fendi boat. I don't got the Fendi.
Not the Fendi boat. What Fendi boat?
I was gonna say Fendi belt. Excuse me. Whatever the fancy belts are. I don't know. Or you could be
You be
the
showing your
millionaire,
age, whatever the fancy belts are.
or you could be the one with it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter. As long as you're happy at the end of the day, you gotta do you.
Yes. So thank you guys for tuning in once again for another episode of Hartzog Hustle Podcast. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the reviews. We appreciate all the ratings. Continue to do so. Please subscribe on YouTube. What else you got? Anything else you got?
Follow the Hartrimony, man, on Instagram.
Yes. And you can also text our number, as he mentioned.
214-544-9015 if you want to be in our inner circle.
Yes.
We keep you posted. We send you motivation. We send you tips.
Yes. Because we don't know we don't own social media. So if we have that number, we at least can stay in contact.
214-544-9015. Say what up to us. Those are our numbers. We got that number on our cell phone. We own it.
We definitely do. I mean, I don't think I'm responding 1 a.m., but we definitely do. But thank you once again.
Keep hustling, guys. Peace.
Bye.
This has been an episode of the Hartzog Hustle Podcast. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite listening platform. And follow Anthony and Janilka on Instagram at The Hartrimony. That's TheHartrimony. Keep hustling, baby. Keep hustling, baby.
Get that money. Get that money.